Do what you have to do. I'll not shed any tears for these backbiting sea snakes. Ulsar's command of the wind and waves was the envy of my father's fleet. No finer serpent of the sea until he decided to sink his fangs into my back. He's always been formidable, but I've never seen anything like he's brewing up here. Just have to hope that Pan's plan to take the wind out of his sails works. If not, we brace for the storm and do our best to steer our aim true. I was making a name for myself on the Abetian Sea and caught the attention of a real bull-headed captain of the Ultima Navy. He chased me up and down the Blue Divide. Good fun, until a tempest tore our battle-worn ships to flinders. Left clinging to the same piece of driftwood in an empty sea. Between Maormar, it's the sign of a fateful match. With him, I thought I was cursed, but we survived together, grew close, and made vows when we thought we were sure to die. A Khajiiti trade barge pulled us from the drink and carried us along to elsewhere. Pan and I promised to see each other again and went our separate ways. We could have left all this behind right then. Could we have been happy like that? Who knows? Every day the immortal king of the Maormar nurses his grudge for thousands of years of exile. Retribution against the Ultima is practically all we live for. My heart isn't in that fight anymore, but to my crew, it's more important than their lives. If you can believe it, I admired him as an opponent long before I fell in love with him. He was brave, tenacious, dare I say reckless. He had pride, but not the empty sort that puffs up most high elves. He had earned his command. I could tell.
I only cast spells when it's absolutely necessary.
There's one of the fonts.
I don't suppose we could use this to blast Ulsar off the ramparts?
Sadly, no.
Kill me!
Ultima fonts are throughout the keep's interior, but we should be able to reach them on our way to the battlements. It was necessary for us to maintain the Ultima enchantments in those ruins. If they ever gutted out, we wouldn't have the knowledge to recreate them. No one knew the ruins could be reached from outside, except Cass. I told myself the secret would be safe with her, that it would be impossible to circumvent the barrier seal even if it was found out. I was lying to everyone, even myself. My selfishness brought this about. That fact sticks like a knife in my gut. We would have had to give up everything to be together. Our families, our status, our homelands. The shame we would have brought our kin would have been disastrous. It seemed the safest way, the only way. And yet, this is so much worse. Aldmer fonts are through. The Aldmer fonts are throughout the keeps. The last font is just ahead.
Too late to right the ship, Captain. Nothing left to do but sink with the rest of us.
I'm too stubborn to sink, Tenerife. That's why I was captain. Bleach on barren sand. Do what you have to do. There wasn't a shred of hesitation in Tenerife's eyes. He went to his grave hating me with every fiber of his being. My second mate, former second mate. He was like a brother to me, but he turned his back like the rest. I don't know why I expected him to be different. Not that I deserved his forgiveness. I betrayed them first. I made vows to one of the tyrants that exiled our people from our rightful home. I've lost everything because of it. Maybe I was right when I thought we were cursed. Maybe I was never one of them to begin with. How many of those vipers would have charged in here to rescue me from capture? Pan was the right choice.
The gates are barred. The locking mechanisms are controlled from those two towers.
Easy enough. You take one, I'll take the other.
Be careful. Damn it! I didn't see him escape, but I held out hope. I'm sorry, old friend. That does it. We should meet Castira at the gate.
Should I cool down another storm? That should knock the fight out of them.
This is it, Cass. Last chance to...
Don't try to talk me out of this, Pan.
Earlsar and his storm lie beyond this gate. No matter what happens, I want to thank you for standing by me. If it weren't for you, I might never have gotten to see Castira again. If this is goodbye, at least it'll be one with closure. Charging headlong into the fray was easier when I had nothing to lose, but my courage is intact. I'm with you to the end.
Earlsar's up ahead, in the eye of the storm. He drove my crew to mutiny, tossed me in chains, and nearly killed the man I love. I'll drag him to the bottom of Mother Sea if it's the last thing I do. You remember our vows?
They were the only thing that kept us moored through that miserable storm.
Let's do it again. How often are we going to see a tempest like this in one lifetime?
You always were the romantic.
Shouldn't the storm be growing weaker?
I said it probably wouldn't get any stronger. Damn him! I can barely hold my footing!
Keep fighting! One of us has to make it!
You can't tame the sea!
Like it began. The two of us, adrift among the wreckage of our lives.
But alive and together.
Fortune smiles, with a shark's teeth. Ulsar's dead and his mutiny along with him. I only wish I had the strength to settle the score myself. If there was any justice in the world, he'd have been forced to concede that he'd never drown me in shame. I'll return home with my head held high. It'll be a long journey without a crew, but I'll manage. There's no shame in returning to port humbled but unbroken, though I think I'll steer clear of sun-kissed shores for some time. I love him, for some reason, but the walls between us are taller than this keep. Just to see him for a few fleeting moments commands such risk, it nearly destroyed everything we care about, and more. There's no place for us among Maormar or Altmer. Did you witness a lot of coexistence here today? When we come together, we leave ruin in our wake. Take the sign for what it is. The world doesn't want us to be together. It's time we finally accepted that as the truth and stop fighting it. Pan won't take it well, but I think he'll understand. Thanks for everything you've done for us. May you see clearer skies and calmer seas than we. I love you, Pan. But we can't go on like this.
I know, Cass.
What will happen when I'm gone?
I pick up the pieces, or I find myself in irons.
I'm sorry. For everything.
I'm not.
The span between us may be as far as the sun and the sea, but you'll never be far from my thoughts.
The sun and the sea were never so lucky as to have crossed paths. I don't expect you to keep my secret, but I'd rather pay my penance through action, not rotting in a cell. It's selfish, but it's all I have left. I want to restore some of the damage I've caused with my own hands. I have to believe I can find redemption through repentance. Our reinforcements have arrived from Alinor. Tell the battle reeve what you will. Farwenya, I'm afraid we've left you a considerable mess.
Pandemalion, you're alive? When Pandemalion's soldiers told me he'd returned to the keep with a passerby, I thought he'd lost his mind. What were you thinking? I'm not one to commend recklessness, but I suppose we all owe you a debt of gratitude. I don't know what's more troubling, that the Sea Elves would attempt such a thing, or that they were able to seize Seakeep in the first place. I'll note your remarks for the inquiry to follow. The sack of Seakeep under Pandemalion's watch will reflect poorly, though his heroics today will temper the attitudes of the court. Your service to the Crown is appreciated. You've had a long day. See to your troops and get some rest.
I'm honored by your consideration, but Seakeep is my responsibility. I won't rest until it is secure.
As you wish.